Hey, this is Carrie's Canary Quilts, and today I am going to be working in EQ8 in the Dear Jane Quilt add-on, and I'm going to show you how to take your photos of your blocks and make it so that you can populate this chart that they gave you. And I am working in, I'm going to circle it up here, DJ2 Progress Chart. That's the name of the file that I'm working in. So when you're in this file, we will be editing our photos and then adding them to the chart. So the first thing that we need to do is you take your photos and you want to take them on a black or white background, just always the same background, because you can see up here in my TR1 that I used a white background, so that when it's all put through, when we put all our pictures in, it'll have the same background up there. So what we want to do is start in our image worktable, which is over here on the right. So let's hit the image worktable. And we want to import an image. At this point, you should have taken your photos, and you want to make as straight down a photo as you can. So I use my cell phone. I hold it straight over like this, and I take my photo. And mine even has little hash marks on it to tell you how straight you are. I don't know if a lot of cell phones have that, but mine does. So that's how I know it's, for the most part, straight on. Anyway, I'm going to import images, and these, let's move this out of the way. These are the 5 images I've taken, and you can see they're pretty straight on. I've got one that's rotated incorrectly. The one on the far right isn't quite squared up, but you can do that in EQ8. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's start with an easy one. I'm going to import this first one, and there is the picture. I'm going to make it smaller here. Let's make me smaller. There's the picture that I took. So we want to first crop this image, and we're going to be working over here in this area. So let's go to crop, and it brings up these dash lines, and you can start pulling them towards your block. So I'm going to be doing that, and I am going to make sure that all my fabric is inside the hash marks. I don't know how well you can see that, but you can see that all my fabric is inside of all these marks. So at this point, you can double click, or over here on the left, you can hit apply crop. All right, there is the image cropped down, ready to be resized. And at this point, we want to resize the image to be 4.5, because that is the size of the blocks once they're sewn in. So you can see that it's not exact, but it's close enough. So now it's really small, but it's ready to be added to the quilt. So we want to go over here to our sketchbook, and we want to add this to our sketchbook. So let's go pick another photo. Oh, we want to go to import image. Let's do the block here that I have, the TR1 block, the top row. We need to rotate this image, and we need to straighten it. And you'll see when we rotate it that we need to straighten it. I'm not going to mess with how much we need to rotate it. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees and then straighten the image. So we want to come over here on the left side, and we want to choose rotate. And then down here below that is a pink icon that says straighten. What we want to do here is you want to choose a seam to use to straighten. I'm going to come over, you can see it's got some hash marks there. I'm going to use that bottom seam between the top and bottom, and I'm going to go right along that seam so you can see the line. I'm going to come back here to the left, and to the right of where we hit straighten, I'm going to hit apply straighten, and it makes our image big. You want to come back, hit fit to window, and now we have a straight image, and you can see the blue up here, how much it had to straighten it. So now we can rotate, which is also still where we were straightening, and I want to go counterclockwise, so I'm going to hit rotate -90, come back down here, fit to window, and from here we can crop our photo. So back up here on the left to the top, we can hit our crop, we can bring it down. I'm going to come to the point, I'm going to come to the bottom of my block, and I'm going to pull it over to the corner points. And I didn't see that little fold, but I'm just going to assume that's my point. All right, so we can apply crop over here on the left. There it is. Now we need to resize it. And we want our smallest size, which would be the width, to be 5 inches. And there is our block ready to be added. So we need to come over here to add to project sketchbook. Now we've added that. So I want to import one more, show you this one that doesn't need to be rotated. There is my block. It's kind of askew. We'll go to rotate. We'll go over here to straighten. I'm going to grab a seam. There's my seam, and I'm going to hit apply straighten, fit to window. There we go, straighten. Now I can crop it. Again, I'm going to come down into, it's just for visual purposes, so I'm coming into the fabric. And I'm going to hit apply crop. And there's my block, resize to 4.5. All right. Add this to sketchbook. All right, before we start populating our quilt, I want to show you where these blocks ended up. I've been adding them to the sketchbook, but where are these blocks? So if we come over here to our sketchbook, these are the 2 icons for our sketchbook. We want to go to the one with the glasses so we can look at it. And because I was in photos, that's where it brought me up, but you can see the quilts, you can see blocks, fabrics, colors, photos, thread, embroidery, all of that's here in the sketchbook. As you work on it, you can add to it. But what we were working on with our blocks and our photos is under the Photos tab. In this part of it, you can delete. Like, I don't need this block, so I'm just going to hit delete. Yes. You can also come over here to the left, and you can edit your note card. So you can say, edit note card. I can say this is E1 carry photo. You know, whatever you want to call it. So that when you click on these, you can figure out what they are. So that's the sketchbook. That's where your photos ended up as you were editing and adding them to the sketchbook. I actually want to come over here to photo tools right here. So let's hit photo tools, and you can see they've got all these letters and numbers already populated with photos. So I'm going to go all the way to the end of my photos by using the scroll bar down here. Down here's the scroll bar. And here's all the photos that I've used to, I've straightened them, I've rotated them, I've gotten them ready to be added. So these 3 at the end are the 3 that I just showed you. So you can see this one at the top, I had in the wrong direction, so I had to flip it. So when we're populating these outside borders, we will have to flip them to be in the right direction. But anyway, now up here, instead of set block, it says set photo. So we can take our photo, This is the one I just did. We're going to click on it, and I'm going to go up here to TR1. I already had a photo there, but I just replaced it with the photo that I did. So we can do this one and come over here. It's already to be set. I've highlighted it, so it's ready to be set, and we can put it in there. So that's how easy it is to add our photos to our graph. So I'm going to be populating these as I go. So just as a recap, you want to take your photos straight down as much as you can. There we go. So you want to hold your camera like I showed you, just straight, and I use my phone. Just put it straight down onto the block and make it as straight as you can. But then once you come back in here, you can crop it, you can rotate it, you can straighten it, and then save it to your sketchbook. Actually, you need to resize it first. And it is in the instructions how to resize these and what size they need to be to put into this graph. And then add it to your sketchbook. After you've done all that, add it to your sketchbook, come back here to Design and Photo Tools, and then scroll all the way to the right, and you can put your photos in where they belong. So it's really easy, and I think what I might do is I'm going to play around with this and color my blocks. Like my next week is going to be pink, and I'm going to take the blocks, and I think I'll try coloring them and then maybe adding them in where they go here to see how it looks. If I do that, I'll show you how I do that. But for now, this is how you add your photos to your Dear Jane add-on in the DJ2 progress chart file. So I hope that helped. I think it's very useful. I'm glad that I learned how to do it. I'm looking forward to seeing how it populates my quilt, and it's going to be a lot of fun to use. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. And if you want me to dive into this any farther. But like I said, if I do start adding colors to blocks and pre-populating, I'll let you know how I do that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and you can join us on this Dear Jane Quilt along. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.